Hey everyone, Heather here from Fast Go Health. The question I want to ask you today is, what meaning are you attaching to the events in your life? It's one of those things that comes up a lot in our everyday lives, but also in the classes that we teach. And everyone goes through experiences, right? Everything that we do is an experience or an event. And what I learned some time ago that I thought was pretty profound, it's a really different way to look at things than I was previous, is that an event is only an event until we attach some sort of meaning to it. So what I mean by that is it helps to explain why certain things can happen to certain similar things can happen to different people, but they affect that person a different way. It's also one of the reasons that, or one of the contributing factors to why we have trouble forgiving or releasing resentment, releasing our past, and not releasing the past, hanging on to it, living in regret or resentment or bitterness, a state of unforgiveness, not letting go, not feeling like we can forgive someone for what they did because they don't deserve to be forgiven. It's a really common thing I know that used to come out of my mouth. And it comes out of a lot of people's mouths. And in the past few years, I've had a whole new way to look at forgiveness and the meaning that we attach to different events, which are kind of two different things and kind of the same as well. So on the forgiveness side of things, the biggest thing that I've learned is that forgiveness is not at all about the other person. It's not. It's not saying that what happened or what somebody did was okay. And that was like mind-blowing to me the first time that I heard that. It was a complete paradigm shift for me. I was one of those kinds of people that I have rules. I'm very rule driven, and you have to earn your trust with me. But if that trust is broken, then you're dead to me. Like, you get one shot, that's it, never forgiven, boom. And I had a few people in my life that were on that list. And to learn that the forgiveness is not about them. It's really about releasing it from me was huge and so freeing. It's, I can't remember her last name. She's got YouTube videos. Nadia, can't remember. Anyways, I'm sure I'll put it on another video when I can remember her name. Anyways, she explains it really great by saying, it's not saying that what happened or what somebody did is okay. It's saying it's so not okay that I refuse to be attached to it any longer. And it's like you're wielding bolt cutters and you're detaching yourself from that person or that event or whatever it is. So that was super huge for me. And to be able to release the weight of the stuff that I resented, the people that I resented, the situations, the events that I resented, was such a weight lifted off, and it just completely changed. It did. It changed my life. It changed my outlook. It no longer weighed me down. And so that's one of the big pieces that I wanted to talk about tonight, was the fact that who or what in your life are you hanging on to? Resentment and bitterness and unforgiveness that you, if you look at things a different way, you can let go. Because you can say, I deserve to not be tied to this anymore. And so I am releasing that person. I am releasing that event, that situation. It's gone. I'm no longer attached to it. It's super, super powerful and awesome. And if there's situations in the past that you know, are just still, you get triggered by it. When you think about it, you're like, but you're like, no, but I let it go. But it's like, if it comes up, you're like, it's like, no, sorry, you haven't let that go. It still gives you a visceral reaction. Again, you can't change your past. You can't change the events that have already happened. But what you can do is change the meaning that you have attached to that event. So how can you look at that differently so that you no longer have to be tied to that event or that situation or whatever happened? It's up to you to attach a different meaning to it so that you can release it, because it is not serving you. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is not serving you to hold on to regret, to hold on to resentment, to hold on to bitterness. It's not worth it. It's sucking the life out of you, honestly, by doing that. And I've been there, and looking back, it's like, yeah, it affected a lot of pieces of my life. And so I challenge you to look at those situations where you have regret, resentment, bitterness. It can be yourself. You may need to forgive yourself and let it go. Nobody is perfect. We are all imperfectly perfect. And it doesn't do you any good to keep beating yourself up. And it doesn't do you any good to think you're beating other people up for what they've done, when really it's just all on you and sucking the life out of you. So there we go. For tonight, what event, situation happening in your life can you attach a different meaning to than you have in the past, to be able to release it and free yourself from that baggage? And who or what in your life do you need to forgive? Not for them, but for you. Thanks for tuning in. We will talk to you again soon. Have a great night.